1993 heralded a new era for sevens. The first ever Rugby World Cup for sevens was introduced, and a certain young London Wasp was eager to make his mark on the international stage.
It was amazing to be selected in the first place. I was playing second team rugby for Wasps. I hadn't broken into the England team, and I was 20, which was very young at the time. I was a lot quicker, had a bit more hair, and I really enjoyed the sevens. We knew that we had a chance because we had Andrew Harriman, who's one of the fastest players in the world at the time, and we had good players who, whilst they weren't recognised on the world stage, they were all very good sevens players. The playing schedule was crazy. I mean, I was 20 years old, I was in an England shirt, I was playing at Murrayfield, so the games could have kept coming all day, to be honest, so I was delighted.
Dallaglio could go all the way, and Lawrence Dallaglio of Wasps can canter home under the posts.
We had an opportunity to ease ourselves into the tournament. We played Hong Kong, we played Canada, we had a game against Samoa, and it was pretty clear early on that we were a decent side. We had pace across the team, we had forwards who could all run. If winning a tournament could get any harder, it certainly did on the second day. We were put into a pool, and it was England, New Zealand, Australia and South Africa. I mean, the pools don't get much harder than that, do they really? So, we said, look, let's just give it everything we've got, give it a go and see where we end up. I got dropped for the first game, actually, against New Zealand, which I was very unhappy about. I was very brooding and moody. And I think that probably, fired me up enormously. And we played a stormer against the All Blacks, and then obviously going on to play Australia, which I think, we struggled against Australia in the pool, and then mighty South Africa as well. So it was a real squad effort.
The semi-final lineup, which no one had predicted. England with only one international taking on the favourites from Fiji. Ireland seeded 10 against Australia.
We were full of confidence at that point. We knew we had a genuine chance of going on to win this tournament. And the thing about sevens is, yes, you can play against the best in the world, the favourites, but it's only 7 minutes each way. And if you get your retaliation in early and get points on the board, it's very hard to come back. And with Andrew Harriman in the side, we knew we had a player that was a genuine game changer. So, we went out and seized the initiative, and we scored a couple of quick tries. They came back at us, and then we went up the other end of the field and scored. It's just great to be playing against one of the best teams in the world at sevens, the real kings of sevens at that time. Serevi, what a legend he was, and every player in the team. So, I managed to get myself on the score sheet at the end, and I think it was panic more than anything else. I was running towards Serevi and I was thinking, I'm terrified, but he looks more terrified than me. So managed to just get round him and score the try, and that was us through to the final.
And that is a famous victory for England, and England are in the final of the World Cup Sevens.
We played Australia in the final, and they were a phenomenal side. I mean, David Campese, Michael Liner, Willie Offengawi, Matt Burt, just to name a few. So they were definite favourites, but we went into that game knowing that if we got on the score sheet early and we put pressure on them, didn't matter who was playing, we were up for it. We had a chance. We'd just beaten Fiji, that everyone thought we were going to win, and it was the one team we hadn't beaten at that point because they beat us in the pool stage. So I remember them kicking off to us, and it was just it couldn't have gone any better. It went through every single pair of hands, got to Andy Harriman in his own 22. He just stood Campese up, went round the outside and went the length of the field and got us off to a flying start, 7-0. And the game really developed from there. Australia kicked off again, we scored again. There was a bit of an interplay. Australia kicked off again, and before we knew it, we were 21-0 up.
England, who won the first World Tournament here in 1973, have done it again. The final score: England 21, Australia 17. Now that really is a moment to savour.
It's a great memory. It was a great start to my career, something special to be part of, and I would never have dreamt of winning a World Cup Sevens, and then 10 years after that, in 2003, winning a World Cup 15s against Australia. But you look at the game now, it's just fantastic. The Rugby World Cup Sevens is going to be in Moscow in June, and they will really host us very, very well and create that real rugby family. And I'm sure everyone is really looking forward to going to Moscow and taking part in the Rugby World Cup Sevens.